More than 3 million Australians are estranged from their loved ones.
I miss the best years of the kids' lives.
He's completely cut me off.
You're my dad, where have you been? Neither of us looked after our marriage at the end, and we lost it.
When all other attempts to reconcile have failed, it's time to try something really quite different. Neuroscientists believe that direct eye contact can communicate much more than just words. So in this bold new social experiment, we'll give estranged people the chance to come here, where they'll spend 5 minutes looking into each other's eyes in search of a way to heal old wounds. Without words getting in the way, can the power of eye contact turn total strangers into a loving father and daughter again? Will it melt away half a lifetime of resentment a granddaughter feels for her grand? And can it reunite an adoring sister with the big brother she lost in a family breakdown? When the eye-to-eye contact is over, what happens next is up to them.
I haven't handled feelings like that before.
Will they decide to talk?
Yeah, she's hurting. She's hurting real bad.
Or will they walk away forever?
I can't do it. I can't.
First to enter the experiment tonight is 29-year-old Kayleigh. She's been longing for a relationship with her dad since her parents split when she was just a baby. Brought up by her mother in Adelaide, she didn't have much contact with her dad, Peter, who lived in Perth.
So I was 9 months old when my parents separated. We were living in Perth as a family, and my dad sent my mum over to South Australia to her family with me and my brother, and we didn't go back, and I just don't know why.
Kayleigh's mother has always insisted that Peter had sent her and the children to Adelaide on a one-way ticket. Moving there is where the difficulty in maintaining contact with her dad first began.
As I was growing up, we would go visit him every school holidays. He would pay for us to go over to Perth, and that slowly diminished from every single school holidays to once a year, and then that stopped at an early age. So I was very heartbroken, even though I was quite young. The feelings of rejection, the heartbreak, the confusion is a hard thing to deal with. The biggest thing is that he doesn't love me anymore.
Kayleigh can't explain why 18 years ago, Peter stopped flying her over to Perth to visit him.
So one of the fondest memories I have of my dad is we're at a beach in Perth. The waves were pretty choppy like it is today. Would have been around maybe 10 years old. We both went under at one point, and he had to pull me up out of the waves. And, you know, I just felt really close to my dad. It was like a proper... Sorry. It was just one of the few memories I have where he was like, you know, a proper dad. It was a proper dad moment. So, you know, that's the one memory I made sure I've always held on to. I haven't seen my dad in about 18 years. There was a phase in my life in my teens from about 12 through until 17 where I needed that father figure. He wasn't there. Why wasn't he there?
One possible explanation for her dad's distance has tormented Kayleigh all her life.
So I was fed this story when I was quite young that my dad didn't believe I was his daughter. So the story is that my mother had an affair while she was with my father, and I was the result of that affair. It is something that has profoundly affected me to this day, and that's one of the biggest questions in my life. What does he believe? And if that is the reason why the contact didn't follow through.
Kayleigh's mother has always denied having an affair. she's maintained that Peter is Kayleigh's real father.
So this photo is basically one of the only photos I have with me and my dad in the same room. Seeing photos of him, you can tell. Anyone would look at the photos of us together and be like, yeah, that's your dad. I want him to meet my fiancée, Jewel. I want him to be at my wedding. I've always had that dream, even as a little girl, of my dad being the one to walk me down the aisle. If all goes well from this look me in the eye experience, that's what I'm ultimately wanting to get out of it, is my dad to be my dad on my wedding day. That's what dads do. Dads walk their daughters down the aisle, and I'm his only daughter.
This strained meeting is a great test of our eye-to-eye experiment. Kayleigh is here to try and reconnect with the father she hasn't seen in 18 years. Desperate for his love, she's opened herself up emotionally, with no idea what's going to happen.
My biggest worry is he'll reject me and all of a sudden it'll all just go back to how I felt for all those years. That's what scares me the most with this whole process.
How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you. Did you come on the motorbike?
No, not today.
You didn't.
I had to leave it at home, unfortunately.
18 years.
Yeah.
You sure he's going to turn up?
I hope so.
You hope so, yeah. Are you excited or are you afraid?
Nerves. I'm so nervous. I think excitement doesn't really come into the fact because, you know, because there's so much unknown in the situation, you just get ridiculously nervous.
Let's do it. Let's go and grab it. Let's go and see what he turns up.
No worries.
Yeah. And good luck. I wish you well on this too.
This moment is probably going to be one of the biggest things in my life. You know, after not seeing him for so long, and then all of a sudden he's just going to be there. I don't know what he looks like now, or he doesn't even know what I look like, probably. You know, it's just, I just don't know what to expect when I see him.
We'll find out in a moment if Peter has made the journey from Perth to see Kayleigh. But first, let's meet another young woman pinning her hopes on the experiment to end another family split. Blythe is part-Thai. Her grandmother Tina married an Australian 50 years ago.
So my grandma moved to Australia when she was in her early 20s. It would have been a bit of a cultural shock because she came from Chiang Mai in Thailand, and then she moved to quite a rural part of New South Wales because my grandfather worked on the snowy mountains. My grandmother was, pretty pleased when I came along. I spent a lot of time with her in the first 6 years of my life because she used to look after me. I was the first grandchild. I was in the spotlight all the time and there was nobody else. So I felt, in my eyes, as a child, perfect. So my sister was born when I was almost 5, and I remember being really excited. We were in the hospital room where my mum had been staying with my sister, who was only, I think, a day old, and my grandma and I were sitting on a couch together, and she was holding my sister in her arms, and she just said, "I like this one better than the other." And I knew that meant her liking my sister more than me. I just always felt like I'd just been pushed off a podium that I had. I've held on to that sentence like my whole life, and I've never forgiven her for that. My grandma definitely gave me so many insecurities as a growing child. I had a lot of social problems because I just never really fitted in because I felt like I was always an outcast. My grandma, I think, felt like I was out of control. My grandma had this idea that a child should be seen and not heard.
Blythe blamed her grandmother for her insecurities and made a bold choice.
I just made the decision to just stop seeing her. I don't think she could understand that an 11-year-old could make that kind of decision.
Since she was 11, Blythe has refused to speak to her grandmother, even when Tina suffered a near-fatal heart attack.
I hadn't seen my grandma in 10 years. I went to the hospital with my dad and my sister. My grandma was in ICU. I just stood in the corner and didn't say anything. It was really uncomfortable. That was the only contact since I was about 12.
Now 22, Blythe's found the courage to reconnect with her grandmother before it's too late.
As she's getting older, I mean, so am I. I'd like to look her in the eyes so that I can get some closure on something that's just haunted me since I was a kid and have a relationship with her that I haven't had for over 10 years. It's now or never, really.
Blythe has come here today hoping to finally move on from the years of turmoil she believes that her grandmother has caused. That's if she's got the nerve to go through with it.
There's a lot of me that wants to, just run away. That's just me reacting naturally, I think, to such a big thing. To actually confront the problem, it's like something I never thought I'd ever do. I always ran away from my problems. So I think it may be a powerful moment for me.
Grandma Tina is in her 70s. She's made a long and tiring journey from the remote New South Wales high country to look into her granddaughter's eyes for the first time in 10 years.
I think I'm feeling vulnerable because my grandmother is going to see me as an adult, and I just don't know if she's going to see me as, I don't know, the adult she wanted me to be. That's a scary part of reconnecting with her.
Hello, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too.
Please have a seat.
Thank you.
This is a long way from the Snowy Mountains.
Yes,
Isn't
yes,
it?
yes.
Do you love the Snowy Mountains?
I just love it. I more or less grew up there. When I first came, I only 23.
Were you? Okay.
I'm 73 now.
Oh, no, you're not. You're still 23. You're still 23.
Yes,
yes. Tina, do you know why you're here? Why did Blythe ask you to come? You haven't spoken to her for 10 years. Does that make you sad?
It was sad. Very sad. I want to see her and have a good chat because she haven't been in contact. Last time I talked to her, I got the phone was cut off when I ring her back and she didn't talk to me.
What was she like as a little girl?
She was difficult, but that is part of it. She's naughty and I'm not a sweet talk grandma. I'm tough. Maybe my culture had to do with it because in Thailand, the young ones come to you if they respect you or love you.
And do you think you're respected? Do you think you're loved by Blythe?
Well, no.
No.
Because she haven't been in contact.
Were you a good grandmother?
I think I am. I always love her in every chance.
At every chance?
I would do anything for them. She got a sister who younger than her, and they all think we favoured the little one.
And did you or not?
No.
No?
We treat them the same.
Was she naughty as well? Was she as a child?
The second one, she was quiet.
Quiet?
Yes.
So Blythe's sister fits in, but Blythe doesn't?
Yeah.
Was it always that way?
Yes.
Always?
Always.
All right. Thank you, Tina.
Blythe and Tina will now face each other for the first time in a decade. But will Tina see the naughty little girl that she remembers, or the woman her granddaughter has become?
I want Blythe to know that I love her. I never stop loving her. It's time that I have her back.
Will Blythe see love in a grandmother's eyes?
What I'm walking into, I don't know if it's going to be positive or negative.
Or is half a lifetime of resentment going to prove too much for Blythe to overcome?
I can't do it. I can't. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I can't.
22-year-old Blythe has spent half her life resenting her grandmother. Today was the day she hoped to put the hurt behind her and move on. But sadly for Blythe and for Tina, it proved just too much.
Have a seat. Just here, okay. How are you feeling? Bit distressed?
Bit overwhelmed, yeah.
Okay.
Anxiety just got to me and I just felt nauseous, I think, because I haven't handled feelings like that before.
Okay. What did you see in her eyes that upset you so much?
I think she was looking at me like I was a stranger.
Did you see any love?
I don't think it was love. It was like trying to process who I am. It was all just, you know, playing off years of hurt. And I think I decided in the end to leave because adult me couldn't deal with it.
Is there a chance that you're blaming her for things that she probably is not responsible for?
I'm not blaming her. I'm saying that, like, certain things impacted me.
Okay, so it's your call, but what about, I mean, your grandmother's come, as you had, with great anxiety about this meeting. You've had a chance to say, no, I can't handle it, I'm walking out. She's had no chance to, apart from looking in your eye. What about doing it with me? What about doing it with me and her?
I don't think I could.
Is there something you'd like to say to her? Because, I mean, you're her granddaughter and you're a woman. You must understand that she will go back wondering what all this was about.
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like me to pass on? Because she has feelings too.
Yeah, well, obviously I thank her for coming because that was a huge thing.
Okay.
And because I think I've never gotten this far in the last 10 years. It's a new step. It's a new, like, journey that I haven't ever thought about taking. And so now I just need to be like, where is it going to take me?
Well,
A little hiccup.
a little hiccup.
Yeah.
Blythe feels like she's taken a big step today
Yes.
in coming to see you.
Yes.
She was just unable to do it.
I just hoping she come back again so we can, you know, finish the process of what we wanting to do. It was sad that she can't make it, you know, too. Yeah, she was the one that really wanted to, and then she probably thinks she's strong enough, but she's not.
All right. Well, I wish you well. Thank you for coming, and I know how much you want to close the gap.
Yes.
Don't you? So I hope that very soon that you have a chance to do that.
It's really tough because I've gotten this far, but I couldn't do it. I think I'll walk away, like it'll feel like heavy and like a lot will be going over in my mind, but there's a step ahead and that's never been possible.
Kayleigh's parents separated when she was just 9 months old. She drifted apart from her father and hasn't seen him in 18 long years. Her dad, Peter, has accepted our invitation to come here today to face his only daughter.
You think you're prepared, you go through all these thoughts, you have everything running through your mind, and then all of a sudden D-Day comes and you're going like, oh my God, am I actually ready for this? Just such a massive thing to be doing after so long.
Hello, Peter. Nice to see you.
Ray, pleased to meet you.
Welcome. Have a seat.
Thank you very much indeed.
Wait, 18 years? What happened to 18 years? Do you know your daughter? Do you have any idea who she is?
To tell you the truth, I wouldn't know her if I bumped into her.
18 years, though, mate. Every birthday, every Father's Day, every Christmas.
Yeah.
What have you thought?
Tell you the truth, Ray, I didn't.
All right, it's really hard. That's cool. That's cool. It's hard to think, isn't it? It's hard if you have to keep thinking. Is it too painful?
No. It's just emotional, but yeah, it is hard. You know they're there, and
But why didn't you just pick the phone up? Why didn't you just write her a letter?
maybe I thought she's gone. She doesn't want to know me. I don't. Not too sure. But
so
no,
why are you here today? Why did you come?
Because Kayleigh wants me to come, so that must mean that she wants to get to know me again. I want to do it for Kayleigh. I want to know why she probably feels that I don't love her.
So why the separation? When she was only 9 months old, wasn't she? When you were separated with her mum. Did you end the marriage? Were you responsible?
No. That came as an absolute shock.
So you didn't kick them out?
No.
Okay.
No. We was in Perth for so many, I can't remember how many months, and she said to me that her brother was getting married and she wanted to take the 2 kids back for the wedding. I couldn't go, I had to work, and never came back.
She just went and never came back?
Never came back.
Given the circumstances and the rumours, let me ask the question, but do you think there are rumours that Kayleigh may not have been your daughter?
That's a rumour I've heard from many, many years ago.
And what do you think? Are you convinced she's yours?
Yes.
Yes. No question.
No question. No question.
Flesh and blood.
Yeah.
But do you have any regrets with what happened?
I had to get on with my life. I knew there was no way known it would get ever repair. Out of my control. Out of my control. I did my best. I never, ever missed a child endowment payment never missed one. So I thought I was doing the right thing.
In terms of when you walk down the stairs, is there trepidation? Are you anxious?
Oh, yeah, very.
Yeah?
Very anxious, yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you very
Go
much
down
indeed.
and all the best, mate. Head on down.
Now?
Now. Now's the moment.
The last time Peter saw his daughter, she was only 11 years old. Today, he's about to look into the eyes of Kayleigh as a 29-year-old woman. Will Kayleigh see love in the eyes of a dad who barely knows her? And will Peter recognise the child he hasn't seen in 18 years?
Okay? Here you go. Wipe your tears.
My heart was just through my chest, and I was just fighting back tears.
Every emotion that you could think of happened. The biggest one is just I realised how much I missed him.
When I was looking at Kayleigh, I remember the face. Reminded me of a baby. And she hugged me. I wasn't expecting that, but yeah, that was good. Felt good. Nice, strong hug, you know? That one where, hey, we're together again.
There was so much hurt and love in his eyes when he looked at me, and it was just so hard to see that.
Yeah, she's hurting. She's hurting real bad. So, and yeah, let's hope Dad can help, you know, like we should.
I really hope that he wants to build that relationship, to have that relationship with me, and to, you know, be a part of my life. That's what my hope is.
Kayleigh has finally connected with the dad she's ached for all of her life. But will the connection they felt during their eye-to-eye contact be enough to restart their relationship after 18 years apart?
Now,
It's been a long time.
there has to be some burning questions.
So many.
So many.
So many, Dad.
I've never stopped, like, loving you or... To tell you the truth, I didn't think that you ever wanted me, you know, to be part of your life at all.
Mum and Nana and all of them, they said the same thing to me when it came to you.
What?
Is that you didn't believe I was your daughter.
It's a rumour, Kayleigh.
That's what I've been told every time you came up. He doesn't believe you're his. I hold on to that.
No. That's a rumour, okay? That has not crossed my mind and entered my mind at all. You've asked me, and I've told you, you are my daughter. You're mine. And that's as far as it goes. And let's move forward.
I've got plenty of time now.
Yeah.
I've got someone really important that I want you to meet. This is my fiancé, Jewel.
How are you? You take good care of my daughter. Yeah?
It's lovely to meet you.
You take good care of my daughter, yeah? Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So good.
Yeah?
Thank you for doing this.
Oh, thank you. Where did we go?
So here's a man with two women.
I started with none.
You walk in with none and you walk out with two women.
How good's that, eh?
Congratulations. Congratulations. Well done. Well done and well done. Now, you walked in there wondering if he loved you. What do you think?
I think, yeah.
You think he loves you?
Oh, she got the right answer there, man.
Without a doubt.
Will you walk her down the aisle?
Yes.
Yes.
Bloody oath.
Bloody oath.
Yes, I will. I will, honestly. That's what dads do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Will you take these two young chicks and go off and buy them a coffee or a drink?
Yeah.
You're not going to put him on the bike, are you?
Oh,
On the motorbike?
Oh, you don't know. I haven't told you. He doesn't know I ride.
No, I didn't know that.
She's gone the full catastrophe now. All right. And it's lovely to see you smiling too.
Yeah.
All the very best. Okay.
Thank you. Take care. Right, where's that bike?
I have to show you photos of it.
So what bike is it?
So it's a Ducati Monster 696.
Oh,
It's 2009.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. The last bike I had was a Yamaha Cruiser.
The last person seeking to recharge a family relationship tonight is 20-year-old Taylor from Brisbane. Taylor is an adoring younger sister who used to have a close friendship with her big brother Tynan.
My brother Tynan and I are born on the same day, 2 years apart. Growing up, I looked up to my brother so much. I always adored him, and I do have a lot of great memories of us being completely carefree together. My first memory of Tynan from when we were little is us just playing in the waves, splashing about, and he yelled, "This is the best day ever." And it was for me. We felt on top of the world and we were having the best time together.
Taylor's idyllic childhood changed when there was a sudden breakdown in the family.
This is my childhood home and it holds such a significant part in my history, in my family's history. The day my parents separated is so vivid in my mind. I was with Ty and we were sitting in our lounge room and Dad and Mum were outside standing on the deck talking. They brought us out here and said, you know, Mum and Dad love you a lot, but we're separating. It's for the best. We can still be a family. I was really shocked. I didn't see it coming. It was just sad, you know, sadness mixed with shock. I was about 8 and Ty would have been 10. It was really difficult for me. I think it was difficult for Ty as well, and I think it almost made him withdrawn because he didn't know how to navigate it. I think he did take it out on me. I suppose he didn't know how else to manage those emotions, so he expressed them in a negative way towards me. It was just a hostile environment for everyone. It was a negative experience and we didn't come out of the other side in a good way.
Throughout his teenage years, the difficult family breakdowns seemed to push Tynan further and further away from Taylor. And she's now anxious to repair their damaged relationship.
Going back to those issues and expecting it to go in a positive direction is, it's almost like dangerous territory and it's not certain how it will go.
Taylor's disconnect with her brother is a bit unusual, given that they both live in their dad's house and they see each other every day.
Even though Ty and I do live together, and it does feel like we are strangers, Tynan doesn't always express what he is going through. He doesn't like to talk about it. And, well, I think sharing eye contact with anyone is a very direct way of establishing a bond. I think I'm hoping to close that distance and just heal some wounds without needing to have a really in-depth conversation with one another. He's my brother and of course I love him, and I don't think I've actually been able to express that to him and felt comfortable, you know, saying, hey, I love you.
Taylor's hoping the eye-to-eye encounter will bring back the loving brother she remembers from her childhood.
I'm pretty terrified of it going the opposite way that I want it to. So it's a big step for me and I'm putting a lot on the line.
20-year-old Brisbane girl Taylor is about to come eye to eye with the brother who became distant after a parent's divorce when she was only 8 years old. 22-year-old builders' labourers like brother Tynan aren't renowned for bearing their softer side.
I'm kind of unsure of what is going to happen. A lot of emotions probably come up, but hopefully not too many. Growing up together, shared so much together. Losing that was an absolute tragedy.
A meeting with his sister Taylor, where no one has to say a word, is a different way to try and reconnect.
I suppose it's scary because Tynan is an introvert in the sense when issues do arise, he is just not willing to express them. There is an outcome that I fear, and that is that I have pushed Ty too far out of his comfort zone and he will just retreat back into his shell. That's not my intention, and that's not what I want us to get out of the experience. I'm extremely nervous, apprehensive. I am hoping it is the right thing at the right time, and the truth is I don't know, and that uncertainty is really scaring me.
I want you to know, from the bottom of my heart, I do love you a lot. And even though you might not think it a lot of the time, I do.
I want to say the same to you, and that's the whole reason I've wanted you to do this with me. And even though we've been through some tough things, I want to keep our relationship separate to anything that goes on.
Feel that.
Bring it in, bro.
How good's this?
Here he is.
How good's... You're caught in the act. Caught in the act. How good is that? So you're happy?
Very.
Yeah, I feel like we've, in a weird way, got closer. Yeah, something clicked.
All right. I wish you well. Thanks very much for that.
Thanks
It was
so
great.
much.
Pleasure to really... And well done, mate.
Cheers, Ray.
Thanks for talking to us.
It was nice. It was a moment where she knew how I was feeling and I knew how she was feeling. It was just like a mutual moment of understanding between each other.
I felt loved by him, which is what I wanted, so I think we've reconciled and and I can be there with him now.
Next time on Look Me in the Eye,
my dad isn't one to really show emotion.
a sensitive son desperately seeks the love of his emotionally distant dad.
I need him to sit down, look me in the eye, and just open up to me.
High school best friends try to reunite.
I thought I knew her really well, but then she wasn't the person that I grew up with.
And
I have a fairly fractured relationship with my sister. I think both of us are probably still a little bit angry.
can two sisters put years of pain aside to bring them back together again?
I'm not sure. Like, I feel really overwhelmed right now. I don't know if I've got much more in my tank.
More than 3 million Australians are estranged from their loved ones.
I miss the best years of the kids' lives.
He's completely cut me off.
You're my dad, where have you been? Neither of us looked after our marriage at the end, and we lost it.
When all other attempts to reconcile have failed, it's time to try something really quite different. Neuroscientists believe that direct eye contact can communicate much more than just words. So in this bold new social experiment, we'll give estranged people the chance to come here, where they'll spend 5 minutes looking into each other's eyes in search of a way to heal old wounds. Without words getting in the way, can a troubled son find his father's love? Can two sisters see beyond their rivalry? And could it help solve a mystery and save a friendship? When their eye-to-eye contact is over, what happens next is up to them.
I feel really overwhelmed right now. I don't know if I've got much more in my tank.
Will they decide to talk? Or will they walk away forever?
I can't do it. I can't.
The first person to take part in the experiment tonight is 23-year-old Daley, a sensitive son who wants to reach out to his distant dad.
I don't think I've ever been able to connect with my dad on an emotional level and really talk about how I'm feeling. And I think that's important with mental illness, is you need to be able to express to those close to you how you're feeling and what you need, but there's something stopping us from being able to talk about the things that a father and son should be able to talk about.
Communication with his dad was never easy, but it became more difficult for Daley once his parents split up 12 years ago.
I was about 11 or 12 when my parents divorced. All I knew was that my dad had just disappeared and essentially abandoned me. And that really hit hard. I remember being extremely distressed and just crying for days on end just because I was extremely confused. I didn't understand what was going on at all. I look at these photos of me and my dad and I don't really have any memory of it. But I seem to be happy and like, my dad looks happy. And then just suddenly everything came crashing down. So I kind of asked myself, is that smile concealing something back then? Because things can't just change like that, you know? After the divorce, I'd gone from very happy, literally months before, to being extremely sad, and I didn't know why. I'm not sure that anyone really wanted to make a diagnosis of mental illness at that age, but looking back on it now, something was going a bit wrong with my brain. I saw a psychologist for a few years, and it led to a diagnosis of bipolar disorder. I told my dad, and he didn't really say anything. We didn't really talk about it. It was just like, oh, you're medicated, everything's okay, when it's really not.
Daley's condition worsened, and living apart didn't help the fragile bond between father and son. But Daley believes there are also other reasons for Stephen's lack of emotional support.
My dad works at the ports in Fremantle. He operates the cranes lifting cargo off of ships, and that's all he does day in, day out. I think because my dad's worked in such a typically masculine environment, it has informed the way he is. And I think that's led to him being quite insular, just because the job is very independent. It's a solo thing. You don't really get to talk to anyone. And so it's just led to him bottling up a lot of his emotion. I've tried to talk about how I'm feeling and how I'm going, but I'm not even sure if my dad has the capacity to talk about emotions and feelings. Alrighty, can we bring everything up to 100% if it's not already? Lovely.
Unable to talk about his feelings with his dad, Daley tried to express himself elsewhere.
I'm going to bring the middle panels up. When I'm stage managing, I have to be on top of everything. Panels coming in. You have to be organised, you have to be focused, and you have to be that. And I kind of force myself to be that, and that helps curb some of the issues that I might face, because I have bipolar disorder. How's that looking? Great. Oh, look at that star curtain. That is lovely. Theatre has been one of the greatest parts of my life. And I never thought my parents, especially my dad, would be interested in theatre because it's not a man's job, you know? But 2 months ago, my dad came to one of the shows completely unexpectedly and out of the blue. Afterwards, I went over to him. He was still sitting in his seat, just smiling at me in a way that I haven't seen in a really long time. There was a sense of connection. There was something there. There was an understanding between the two of us, just for a moment, a couple of minutes, no longer than that. And I want to see more of that. I want to see him smile more. He was proud of me, and I haven't had that much at all. And yeah, it was a really nice feeling.
The experience made Daley realise that he needs a more meaningful relationship with his dad.
I've never really actually hugged my dad or received a hug from my dad, let alone actually sat down and just talked to him bluntly. And, you know, I think a step towards that would just be sitting down and looking him in the eye and letting him see me, who I am, you know. And the thing is, I think we both struggle to look people in the eye. We struggle to communicate. So I think for us to be able to talk to each other, first we need to connect on a different level. And I think this is the perfect opportunity.
Daley's determined to try and connect with his dad. But can 5 minutes in the experiment help him find the emotional support he so desperately needs?
Hello, Damon. Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Are you nervous?
Yes, I'm extremely nervous.
Now, why are you here?
I want to really connect with my dad. It's been like 15 years since I've had a proper conversation with him. There's just something in our relationship that's just stopping us from being able to talk about anything, and I don't think I've looked him in the eye ever. So I think that's a new experience for both of us. So it's going to be hard.
Do you think he's open enough to respond to this?
I don't know. That's the big question. I just really want him to be able to open up, because if he can't open up, I don't know if it's going to go anywhere.
OK, so this could be a last chance?
Could be, but I really hope it's not.
OK, all right. I wish you well. Please come on in.
We'll find out later if Daley can finally break through to his dad. But first, a story of sibling rivalry.
I had a very big falling out with my sister. We were both very stubborn and very determined that we weren't going to talk to each other ever again. But we love hard and we fight hard in this family, so it's probably not unusual that there was such a big blow up. But it still doesn't feel right to be estranged from her.
Meagan and her younger sister Rebecca haven't seen each other for 12 months. But there was a time when the two sisters were completely inseparable.
Beck and I are 22 months apart. I think we got close quite quickly because we were so close in age and we could play together. And then when my parents divorced, that brought us even closer. I was about 7, so Beck would have been 5. And we came and lived with Dad. He was a single dad. In the 80s, it was unusual. We spent a lot of time with Dad. Dad would take us like lots of places, except for the beach because he couldn't swim. So we did lots of other things. We used to go on family holidays quite a lot. So this is one of them there in Canberra. I'm looking very stylish, I'd just like to add in that picture. This is my dad's place. This is the room that Beck and I shared. We used to have the beds I think it was like a bed here and then a bed out, something like that. We always were together. And I think I was very protective of her.
With their mum no longer living with them, the family dynamic shifted dramatically and Meagan took on a new role.
Because Rebecca was my little sister, I liked taking care of her and protecting her, and I guess I was in a bit of a mum role there. I always wanted to mother her. I wanted to make sure she was okay. And then that transitioned also into adulthood for us. So whatever Beck was going through, I was going through with her. But then when I had my kids, that's when the dynamic might have started to shift a little bit in my relationship with Beck.
Having a young family meant that Meagan became less available to Rebecca. But that wasn't the only reason why the relationship began to fall apart.
It was tough because I'm very responsible and I want to make sure that I'm playing by the rules. I would say that Beck's more of a risk taker. I didn't want to be too judgy. Beck was a young single mum. I know that it was very challenging for her at times and she struggled. She made some very poor choices and she just got herself into a lot of shit.
Tensions steadily rose between the sisters. Years of unspoken frustration finally boiled over on a family holiday.
My dad retired and he decided that he would shout all of his kids and grandkids to a family cruise. Right up there is where we got on the cruise. We were so excited. We'd been anticipating it for ages and it was massive. It was nearly as big as that apartment building there. Going on the cruise with Beck, I felt a little nervous because we'd been disconnected like quite a bit over the last, I'd say, 5 years. So I was kind of nervous about how we would be together. We tried to sort of pretend that everything was okay, but then I had to sleep in the same cabin as Beck, and I got in there and she was crying. And I was annoyed at her. I was really mad. And I just wanted to go to sleep. And I said to her, "Oh, what's wrong now, Rebecca?" And she said something like, "I miss you. You don't care about what I'm doing in my life anymore. Why are you such a bitch?"
just couldn't handle it anymore, and I just blurt out everything I think I'd wanted to say to her for so long. Some things that were really hurtful and mean, and that was it. And I haven't spoken to her since.
I think that Beck and I have been through way too much together for us to not be able to find some peace and healing with this process. I love her and I miss her. I hope that we can find some common ground and redefine our relationship as sisters.
After a year apart, Meagan's here to try and re-establish and redefine her relationship with her sister. But after their huge falling out, will Rebecca ever be able to see her big sister in a new light?
I have a fairly fractured relationship with my sister. I think both of us are probably still a little bit angry. We just have things that we need to work through. But she's really important to me. She was obviously the constant in my life when we were growing up. So I just think that it's a time for us to get over ourselves a little bit.
It's time now for the sisters to go eye to eye in the experiment. The rules are very simple. They must sit for 5 minutes, looking into each other's eyes in complete silence. What they hope to express through this direct eye contact is entirely up to them.
I really want to be honest with Beck, but I'm very scared about that because the last time that happened, it was not good. So I am nervous about confronting those things. I'm starting to get a little bit nervous. It's probably going to be really quite emotional. It's just really important that she's a part of my life and I'm a part of hers, and our family just can be a family again. I'm hopeful that this does bring us closer together, but I guess I'm also risking that it's going to dig up old wounds again.
wanted to just wrap her in a blanket and take her away. Just felt like she was my sister again. And she just looked like she felt so bad, and I just miss my sister so much. I think I just forgot. So much bad stuff just gets in the way of all the good.
It's been an emotionally charged meeting, but has the intensity of the experience made the sisters want to talk?
I'm not sure. Like, I feel really overwhelmed right now. I don't know if I've got much more in my tank left to have another heavy conversation.
Meagan has just looked into the eyes of her younger sister, Rebecca. A year ago, the siblings vowed to never speak to each other again. But after an emotional eye-to-eye, Meagan has finally decided she's ready to talk. Although she's still not sure if Rebecca will be ready to listen.
I'm nervous and a little bit worried. It would be good if both of us could openly hear how the other one truly feels. But in the past, when I've needed her help or asked for her help, we'll have a chat about what's going on for me, and then all of a sudden we're talking about all her stuff again. I don't want her to not talk about her stuff, but I wish that she was around more for my really hard times. That's what I think I really need from her.
I just needed to know that I'm not the same person that I used to be. And I just don't think that that's recognised a lot. And I just want her to do that.
Soz.
Sorry. It's all really intense. I didn't know it was going to be this intense. I'm really glad you came. I wasn't even a second thought. I hope not. I drive past your house every day. So every day since we got back from that cruise, I've thought about all of this. And I don't want to keep going over the bad stuff always, but it needs to be just sorted. I think that's why everything went so shit last time. That's why I did. I just want things to be normal as best as our craziness can be normal. I want you to come and see what I do and be proud of what I've achieved. I'm not like I used to be anymore, and I just feel upset all of the time that I try really hard and have worked really hard to choose to be a different person, and no one gives a shit. You can say whatever you want.
No, I can't. Sorry, I'm just trying to process some stuff. I'm hearing you say, like, finally, in terms of our whole family dynamic, you're doing a good job and nobody really cares. It's like, I feel the same way. And I feel like I'm always expected to be strong and keep my shit together, and then when I can't, nobody's there for me. Nobody knows how to deal with me or how to support me or anything. And so, oh, well, bad luck, I just have to sort it out again. And sometimes I just can't.
You don't have to sort it out all the time, though. I don't think anybody in my life has got my back, Rebecca, and I miss you having my back. You got to have your own back, May. I know that. I've been doing that pretty much for a long time now. But sometimes it's nice just to have somebody there to have your back. You're one of the strongest women I've met. And you just don't even seem like yourself, and it's really upsetting. And I know I've been really bad to you before, and you've always looked after me. And I didn't realise that for ages, but I'm different now. But I miss my sister. I miss just calling you and talking about dumb stuff.
I actually think that we're very similar in a lot of ways that we think. I've had to learn some lessons about my role and myself going through this whole process. I think both of us have very similar, issues with not feeling heard and understood.
It's time to just get it sorted. And I think that you need to understand that this was one of the best things you've ever done. As scary as it is and as intimidating as it is and everything, it's important. You know, it's a big thing to do this and everything, and I just don't want to walk out of here today and have things just go back.
No.
I just don't want us to fight, because I have no desire for us to fight anymore. I just don't.
We're going to be okay.
Yeah, of course we're going to be okay. We just need to sort our stuff out.
Love you. Love you.
Earlier, we met Daley, who suffers from bipolar disorder. He believes the experiment is his last hope of finding a way through to his emotionally distant dad.
I am worried it might not turn out the way I want it, or maybe even the way he wants it, but I want our relationship to move forward.
Stephen has travelled all the way from WA to meet with his son. Will the hardened dock worker be able to open up and give Daley the emotional support he so desperately needs?
My dad isn't one to really show emotion at all. I don't know how he's going to be. I don't know if he's going to suddenly reveal a side that I've never seen before.
Hello, Steve. Nice to see you.
How's it going?
Good, mate. How are you? How are you feeling?
I need him to sit down, look me in the eye, and just open up to me.
As a dad, how would you rate yourself out of 10?
Probably around about a 6 or a 7. So I probably haven't been the greatest. I mean, it's hard because he was obviously living with his mother and she had custody.
When the marriage unravelled, is that when Daley started to have troubles?
I think so, yeah.
And did you try to get him help?
I didn't realise he was depressed.
You didn't?
Until later on, yeah.
But since then, having been diagnosed with depression and also bipolar, yeah, that's a fairly serious health problem, isn't it?
Yeah. I've been there myself.
Have you?
Yeah.
What, depression?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was on medication for a bit.
Were you?
Just after I separated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would he know about that?
I'm not 100% sure. I've mentioned it to him, but I don't know whether he knows how serious it was.
Okay. So in that sense, you relate to him. You can understand exactly what he's going through.
Yeah.
Or been through. Yeah.
Mm.
In your quiet moments, do you think, gee, I wish I'd have done something different?
I think that quite a bit, yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
So what didn't you do? What regrets? What should you have done?
Probably just, I guess, say I love you.
Have you ever said that to him? No. All right, I'm sorry, I don't mean to. But it's real, isn't it? And I guess that's the reason why, Steve, that's the reason he's asked for the meeting, because it's fairly extreme, but it's an attempt to connect, isn't it? Yeah. Are you optimistic? Do you think this might be the answer to the problem?
I think so, yeah. I think we can fix it now and talk. Well, I hope we can.
Yeah, I hope you can too.
Daley's about to look into Stephen's eyes in a last-ditch attempt to try and connect with his dad.
I think it's going to be interesting when we sit down and lock eyes, because I don't know how he's going to be. We've never really looked each other in the eye. We've never really had a talk longer than 5 minutes. But I want to know him. I want to get to know him.
It's time now to see if 5 minutes of direct eye contact with his son can give Stephen the confidence to say how he really feels. Or could it force him deeper into his emotional shell.
It's interesting because I instantly felt a whole lot of pain. But I want to know what he's thinking. I want to know how he feels.
When we spoke beforehand, you were quite emotional about it. Down there, you didn't look. You were controlling your emotions.
Oh, I teared up at the start.
You teared up?
At the start, yeah.
Why?
I could have been a better father.
Okay, well, that's understandable. That's understandable, mate, absolutely. What would you like to do? As a result of looking in his eyes for all those minutes, would you like to go back and talk?
Daley has just looked into the eyes of his dad, Stephen. It's been 12 years since they last truly bonded. After their eye-to-eye experience, Daley hopes a deeper emotional relationship can emerge for him and his dad.
All he has to do is open up and tell me how he's feeling, tell me what's happened to him and where he's at now, and that's all I need. I just need him to open up.
But it's clear the meeting has rocked Stephen. He's yet to decide if he's ready to open up to Daley.
What would you like to do? Would you like to go back and talk?
Now?
Yeah. Do you want to talk to him?
That's the big thing, isn't it? We don't talk.
Yeah.
No, I'm one for that. It's just holding it all in.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're holding it in?
Yeah.
Okay. Today, be different. Get out of character.
Yeah.
And just talk to your son.
Where do we start?
Hmm?
Where do we start?
What do you think about our relationship, like, you know?
Well, I think it's pretty disconnected, isn't it? We don't talk. I try and ring you, I try and message you.
I know, but what are you ringing about?
Help you financially, but I don't get to thank you for it.
It's because I have trouble communicating too. And part of this is me learning how to communicate. Just gotta understand that if I don't pick up a phone call, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's just I struggle with my mental health a lot.
You still?
Yeah. And I know sometimes I'm hard to deal with, but I'm trying to work through it myself. Because what I have isn't something that's just going to go away. I can't fix it. I just have to deal with it. Being bipolar is not about... It's not about you can't fix it. It's just what it is now. Mum never really understood it, but I feel like you might.
I've been there, Daley. You know all about my depression?
No.
When I was married, I was on medication then, and I went off it after we separated.
But you're still depressed now, though.
I am.
But you need to get help.
Honestly, I don't really have anybody to talk to.
Why? You need to talk to someone. You can talk to me. It's just about willing to be more open.
I know. I've never been that sort of person to open up, Daley.
I know, but if you don't, it's just gonna not end well.
Well, hopefully we can. From now on, ring up and talk.
I'm ready to try. I'm ready to move past all the shit. I thought you never cared.
Oh, I do care, Daley.
I know now.
And I guess there's one thing I've never said to you, that I love you.
I love you too.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I do. I'm sorry for it.
Well done.
Thank you.
Steve, well done.
Thanks a lot.
How do you feel?
It's been a really good experience.
Has it?
Being put into that situation and having to sit there and actually just look each other in the eye, even for like a few minutes, it just forces you to open up.
It's been quite emotional. A few hours, actually.
But worthwhile?
Worthwhile, yeah.
Worthwhile. Thanks for being part of it.
That's all right.
Thanks for the courage. Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
I wish you both well. All the best.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers, guys.
Oh, it's just an emotional roller coaster, isn't it?
I know.
Our final participant in the experiment tonight is a man looking for answers and hoping to get his best friend back.
Laura and I were really good friends, really close all throughout high school. I thought I knew her really well, but then she started to change. She wasn't the person that I grew up with. And then it just sort of collapsed.
I wouldn't say that I'm bitter about what happened. I'm more confused, and I'd like to understand why she chose to sort of withdraw from our friendship.
Zach had just assumed that his best mate at school was going to be a friend for life. But one day, without any explanation, Lauren completely cut him off.
Lauren and I met in Year 7. We went to high school together down in Wollongong. As friends, we just really clicked because we sort of stuck together.
This is the Wollongong Lighthouse where we used to hang out. Lauren and I used to come here quite a bit after school. This is just where we could be together and just hang out, and there weren't our parents around looking over your shoulder, and it was just somewhere you could be relaxed and just chill out. I mean, being here as an adult, we kind of look back and, you know, it's silly, but it's just, you know, that's what it was. It's what you did.
Always side by side, Zach and Lauren supported each other through the awkward teenage years.
Lauren was like quite an outgoing, like bright, funny, very charismatic, bubbly person. It was a platonic love, like we weren't like dating or anything, but we just kind of understood each other and we knew that we were always like there to have fun together, so we always just, you know, were having a ball. So this photo's of my Year 10 formal. Lauren and I went together. We were best friends, so we knew when it was Year 10 formal we were always going to go together, so it was just something we did. So we're just sitting in front of the lighthouse. You know, we look really happy. So it was around the time we were 18 that Lauren really started to shift. You can see in the photos, like, Lauren started dressing differently, bleached her hair, and I really started to notice that Lauren was acting quite erratic. She became a bit distant. You know, we all had times when we, you know, went a bit out there, but for Lauren it was the highs and lows were a bit more obvious. I wanted to be there for Lauren because we were so close, or I thought we were, but she wasn't allowing us to. She would change her number, or she wouldn't reply to messages. She just became someone you couldn't really rely on. And like, as someone who you could consider as a best friend, it was just sort of, it was hard to see that happening, and I became kind of a bit angry about it.
Zach's anger and frustration towards Lauren's behaviour finally reached breaking point on his 21st birthday.
This just here is the Oxford Hotel where I had my 21st birthday. Was looking forward to having a really good night with my friends, and I was expecting to see Lauren there, being one of my best friends, and I was really disappointed when she didn't come. I just didn't really understand still and was confused as to why she had distanced herself from me, and especially at my 21st birthday when, you know, I count on her to be there being a good friend, and she wasn't. And we hadn't had contact since then. I guess the best possible outcome for this would be understanding what happened. It'd be good to know that she's okay. I'd like to be there for Lauren, but I'm not able to because we're not in contact anymore, and it's sad. You know, she meant a lot to me, so it would just be nice to know that she's okay and she's doing well.
It's been 7 years since Zach last saw Lauren. As the time passes, his need to know what happened to her has only intensified.
I guess the questions that I need to know the answer to is what happened between us? Why was there such distance, and why was she withdrawing from me?
Today, Zach's hoping that his former best friend will show up and finally put to rest the mystery of why she abandoned him. But so far, there's still no sign of Lauren. "28-year-old Zach is hoping to go eye to eye with his childhood best friend Lauren. She vanished from his life 7 years ago.
Reconnecting with Lauren would be an opportunity just to understand what happened exactly, and that, you know, I'd like to maintain some sort of friendship with her because we were so close all throughout high school, and, you know, she meant a lot to me.
She stood him up on his 21st birthday. Is she going to do it again?
If I didn't get answers today, it would be upsetting. There would never be a resolution.
Lauren has finally turned up. But will she really be able to look Zach in the eye after ignoring him for so many years?
Because we were such good friends. When she didn't come to my 21st, I was a bit bitter about it.
I used to have social anxiety. I was in a very bad place.
very bad place. I was always so worried that he'd be upset with me that, you know, I didn't reach out to him because I should have.
Sorry. I missed out on everything. It's taken me years to get where I am right now.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. And then I was just so scared to ever call you.
Yeah.
Because I just thought you hated me.
I never hated you. How could I hate you? You know, like, it's just, we were so close for so long and then you just stopped talking to me and I just didn't know.
It's no one else's fault but my own.
Yeah.
But if I could explain it to you. So I kind of just fell head first into the deep end.
Yeah.
And
But you're here now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I am
what-
here now.
what
And I
happened?
am so sorry. And
Yeah.
I just felt like I'd made too many mistakes and I just felt
But I would have been there for you, like,
know,
and I wanted to
I know,
be there
but
for you.
I've always really looked up to you. Like, I've always respected you so much. And then I just became so trapped inside my house.
Yeah.
I didn't answer calls from my mother. I didn't answer calls from my father. I didn't talk to anyone. And then I gained so much weight. I was 114 kilos.
Yeah.
And I just felt so self-conscious.
Yeah.
I did not want you to see me like that.
Yeah.
I was just so embarrassed. I isolated myself from everyone.
Yeah.
When I came down here and just like saw you, I just see this beautiful, amazing, accomplished person. You'll always be the brightest star in the sky to me, okay?
So nice.
And when you reached out to me, I jumped at the chance.
Yeah.
I just never had the guts that you had.
Yeah.
Thank you. Goza.
That was okay.
How do you open it?
I think it's locked.
Thank you.
Next time on Look Me in the Eye.
She said bye for now, and that bye for now turned to be forever.
A son longing to reconnect with his father, who walked out of his life 35 years ago.
Did you see the photo? You were dancing at her wedding.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be hard for him.
You could feel that things weren't right. I was perceived to be the problem.
Ego drives two best friends apart.
I could have shown him a lot more respect than I did.
Will the experiment help them move on and restart their friendship?
I just found myself pretty withdrawn.
Postnatal depression drove a wedge between these former best friends.
There was just no communication.
After 15 years, can 5 minutes of eye contact restore their friendship?